So in this video, we'll look at the multiple responsibilities and functions of the RBI. The first function that we will look at is that the RBI manages the public debt. The Government Securities Act of 2006 or the GS Act was enacted with an objective to consolidate and amend the law relating to government securities and its management by the Reserve Bank of India. The GS Act prescribes the procedure and modalities to be followed by the RBI in the management of the public debt. The second function is the control and regulation of foreign currency and payments. So we have the FEMA Act of 1999, that is the Foreign Exchange Management Act. The Foreign Exchange Management Act confers the RBI with powers and responsibilities with respect to external trades and payments, development and maintenance of foreign exchange market in India. The FEMA empowers the RBI to denote any person or institution as a legally authorized person to deal in foreign exchange or securities. So if you want to deal in foreign exchange or securities, you have to approach the RBI. Then the RBI will say, okay, you can deal in foreign exchange or foreign securities, and it is the FEMA that has empowered the RBI with such powers. Similarly, the RBI also has powers to revoke an authorization from a person or an institution if it deems it so necessary. The third function, regulating banks and banking functions. Now, the Banking Regulation Act of 1949 gives statutory backing to the RBI to regulate banking institutions in India. It is the RBI that issues licenses to the banking companies. It can also revoke it. The RBI has the power to control the advances that a bank may make. So, the powers of licensing is given to the RBI. An RBI can give the license to an institution to become a bank, or it can revoke the license that it has given to a bank. The RBI also has power to control the advances that a bank may make. What do you mean advances? Advances means, for example, the RBI has the power to control the loans that a banks may give. Advances means loans that a banks may make. The RBI may also stop any banking action that it deems detrimental to the interests of the depositors. So protection of depositors is also a function of the RBI. Now, if the RBI feels that a bank is making an advance that is not in the interests of the depositor, then the RBI can step in. The RBI can also issue directions for proper management of a bank. The RBI may also take a decision to wind up an unsafe bank if it deems necessary. So the RBI is quite powerful when it comes to regulating banks. It has all powers. It has the power to issue license. It has the power to revoke license. It has the power to control the advances that a bank may make. If the RBI feels that certain decisions of the banks are not in favor of the depositors, then the RBI may say, please don't take these decisions. Then the RBI also has powers of management. If the RBI feels that a bank is not being managed properly, then the RBI can send directions to the bank which the bank has to comply with. And as a last resort, if the RBI feels that a certain bank is unsafe, then RBI can wind up that bank. So these are the powers with respect to bank, and it is the Banking Regulation Act of 1949 which gives the RBI such powers. The next function of RBI is control over NBFCs. NBFCs means non-banking financial corporations. Non-banking financial corporations are mandated under the RBI Act to obtain a certificate of registration from the RBI and to maintain net owned fund as specified under the official gazette. So it is under the RBI Act that the RBI has the power to regulate NBFCs. The RBI has the power to regulate how the NBFCs solicit deposits, that is, how the NBFCs collect deposits or ask for deposits from the public. So the RBI has the power to regulate how the NBFCs solicit deposits. The RBI can also prohibit the issual of advertisements or prospectus by the NBFCs to solicit deposits. It can also issue directions to NBFCs and call for information under the RBI Act. So again and again we see that the powers with respect to the NBFCs are under the RBI Act. Hence the power of the RBI to regulate NBFCs comes from the RBI Act, whereas the power to regulate the banking institutions is derived from the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So this is about how the RBI can control NBFCs. The next one that we look at is control over cooperative banks. Cooperative banks are treated as cooperative societies, which is a state subject. However, banking is a union subject. Hence, cooperative societies are under the dual control of both union and state laws. I repeat, cooperative societies is a state subject, banking is a union subject. So, cooperative banks come under the dual control of both, that is, union and state laws. However, with respect to banking alone, the union laws hold sway and the RBI has lots of powers over cooperative banks. Under the Banking Regulation Act of 1949, the RBI has the following powers, that is to issue licenses and cancel licenses of cooperative banks, to supersede the boards of the cooperative banks if the RBI feels that it is necessary, inspect the cooperative banks, issue directions to these banks in public interest or in terms of banking policy. The fourth one, the RBI also has the power to control loans and advances that a cooperative bank may make. The registrar of cooperative societies in that particular state also has control over the cooperative banks in that state. But where banking is concerned, the RBI has full powers as granted by the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. So this is about the multiple responsibilities and functions of the RBI. We'll continue looking at the RBI in the videos to come. Thank you.